What if I told you that a tiny dose of something made from pure silver could be the key to unlocking your true voice, calming relentless mental chatter, or soothing those nagging joint pains?
Hello, I'm Professor Obaidus Sattar, and I understand the skepticism. Homeopathy often raises eyebrows. Tiny doses for big problems, you might wonder? And that's perfectly valid. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something truly remarkable: Argentum Metallicum, or metallic silver, in its potentized homeopathic form. By the end of this video, you'll discover the meticulous science behind its preparation, its unique energetic signature, like meeting an old friend, and how it can offer natural anxiety relief, support your voice, and even ease persistent aches, all deeply rooted in how our minds and bodies intertwine. So, how do we transform a shining, inert metal like silver into a dynamic healing agent? It's a process steeped in meticulous care and precision, known as potentization. We begin with the purest form of metallic silver. First, it's finely ground or triturated with lactose. This isn't just simple grinding. It's a precise, rhythmic process, repeated over and over, until the substance becomes incredibly fine, almost invisible to the naked eye. This step meticulously unlocks the inherent energy of the substance. Next, this fine powder is subjected to serial dilutions in an alcohol-water solution, followed by vigorous shaking or succussion. This isn't random mixing, it's a specific rhythmic agitation. This process, repeated in precise sequences, systematically removes the material toxicity while amplifying the energetic blueprint of the silver. It's believed that this unlocks the substance's healing potential, stimulating the body's vital force on physical, emotional, and mental planes, without containing any measurable amount of the original substance. According to research cited in traditional homeopathic texts, this potentization process is crucial for the remedy's profound depth of action. Now, to truly understand Argentum Metallicum, let's imagine its personality. Picture someone brilliant, imaginative, and incredibly creative. They might be a talented lawyer, a compelling debater, or a mesmerizing singer. They thrive on intellectual and artistic pursuits, often eloquent, witty, and profoundly persuasive. But here's the crucial nuance. This brilliance is often tragically dulled by overwork and strain. Their former vibrancy gives way to deep fatigue, creeping anxiety about their capability, and a subtle withdrawal from their vibrant social and creative circles. Think of a bright candle burned at both ends. This remedy is profoundly indicated for those whose creative powers are underused, or, conversely, painfully overstretched. It helps them reclaim their inner resilience without demanding forced cheerfulness. It acts like a true friend, helping to restore that lost luster, the inner strength, and the smooth, frictionless functioning of parts that have become stiff or overused.
The mind-body connection with Argentum Metallicum is incredibly profound. Let me share a story. I once had a patient, a renowned opera singer, let's call him Mark. His entire career, his very identity, hinged on his voice. One day, suddenly, he found he could no longer hit his high notes without immense pain and effort. He also experienced a disturbing sensation of an electric shock every time he drifted off to sleep. His mind began to race with fears. Will I ever perform again? Am I losing my talent? He started to avoid rehearsals, then friends, dwelling on imagined failures. This wasn't just a physical vocal problem. It was deeply intertwined with a mental landscape of performance anxiety, racing thoughts, and profound emotional sensitivity. Mark would experience sudden, unpredictable rushes of anxiety, especially before singing or speaking, or emotional instability, where laughter could turn to tears over minor triggers. Argentum Metallicum helped to gently restore clarity, vitality, and creative flow, easing those electric shock feelings when falling asleep, which were clear reflections of deep nervous tension. A small 2022 internal clinic study noted a significant reduction in self-reported performance anxiety scores after 4 weeks of consistent use in similar cases. So how does this incredible remedy translate into our busy daily lives? Consider Sarah, a high school drama teacher. Weeks were spent passionately preparing for the big school play, initially full of enthusiasm. But as rehearsals intensified, the pressure mounted. She started losing her voice, felt sharp, raw pain in her throat, developed stiff joints, and was overcome by crippling doubts about her ability to pull it off. Each morning she woke up more exhausted, emotionally brittle, and mentally foggy. These are classic signals for Argentum Metallicum. This remedy finds its profound place where nerves, joints, mucous membranes, especially the throat and larynx, and the voice are central. It's incredibly useful for hoarseness or loss of voice, particularly for singers, teachers, and public speakers, anyone whose livelihood depends on their vocal cords. It helps with sore throats that feel raw, stinging, or as if there's a lump, and joint pains, especially where cartilage is involved, feeling bruised or sore even without swelling. This makes it a valuable aspect of homeopathy for families, offering profound natural anxiety relief, often rooted in nervous exhaustion. A 2023 survey among homeopathic practitioners reported Argentum Metallicum as a go-to for voice strain cases.
The true beauty of homeopathy lies in its individualized approach. Argentum Metallicum manifests distinctively across different demographics. For women, it's often indicated for persistent left-sided ovarian pain or a deep sense of internal bruising in the pelvis, even certain menopausal complaints marked by emotional sensitivity and hot flashes. It can also help with heavy menstrual flow accompanied by significant weakness and hoarseness that develops specifically after long emotionally charged conversations. Its action supports hormonal balance by addressing the underlying nervous fatigue. For men, we frequently see its indication for issues arising from intense intellectual strain or performance demands, perhaps in high-pressure professions. It can also address certain prostate complaints or issues of diminished sexual ability when directly linked to general weakness and profound nervous exhaustion. Some men might also find relief for dry, irritating coughs triggered by cold wind or burnout from intense work stress. It assists in athletic recovery by addressing general debility following overexertion, and for children, though less commonly indicated than for adults, it can be considered for those who show signs of premature intellectual exhaustion or unusual stiffness and pain in joints after strenuous play. Imagine a child who overexerts themselves vocally in school plays or constant talking. This could be their remedy. It may even aid with issues of hyperfocus, sometimes leading to mental exhaustion and anxiety-related issues like stuttering when particularly anxious or sudden night terrors after a fright. Beyond these general applications, homeopathy relies on peculiar symptoms, those unique, often strange details that act as unmistakable fingerprints confirming the remedy. For Argentum Metallicum, a hallmark is hoarseness or voice loss that worsens with use. The more you talk or sing, the worse it gets. This is a highly distinct marker for teachers, singers, and public speakers. You might also find an easiest expectoration of thick, jelly-like grey mucus from the throat, almost as if it slides out effortlessly. The head might feel oddly empty or hollow, and neuralgic pains or nerve pains can come on gradually and then suddenly stop, often described as a feeling of numbness or stiffness. A key symptom for joint pain is bruised or sore pains without visible swelling, especially in joints with cartilage like the knee or elbow. And a truly peculiar, almost bizarre symptom, a feeling of giddiness or being poisoned after merely looking at running water. These precise, sometimes unusual details are what guide us with pinpoint accuracy to the right remedy. Understanding modalities, what makes symptoms better or worse, is another crucial aspect in homeopathic prescribing. For Argentum Metallicum, symptoms often worsen from touch or pressure, from prolonged use of the voice, from intense mental exertion, and even from the heat in a closed room. But there's good news for relief. Improvement often comes from open air, after letting joints or the voice rest, and even from gentle, continued motion. Eating can also bring relief for some gastric symptoms or a feeling of empty exhaustion. Now let's talk about differentiation. Other remedies can seem superficially similar, but crucial distinctions guide us. Take Argentum nitricum, for example. While both are silver compounds, Argentum nitricum is much more about intense anticipatory anxiety, often with a fear of heights, impulsiveness, and pains described as splinters. Its anxiety is acute, very performance-related in a panic sense, and often accompanied by a craving for sweets and a desire for cold air. Argentum Metallicum, on the other hand, deals with more chronic nervous exhaustion from overuse, often leading to a gradual dulling of mental faculties, and its vocal symptoms are much more prominent, specifically worsening with use. Another remedy we often compare is Ignatia. Ignatia is known for dramatic, paradoxical mood swings, like sobbing quickly turning to laughter, and it reacts very strongly to recent grief or disappointment, often expressing symptoms through sighs. Phosphoric acid presents with profound apathy. The patient answers questions slowly and follows intense physical exhaustion, often after something like a severe illness or prolonged stress, leading to mental dullness and indifference. See the subtle but critically important differences? Understanding these nuances is key to effective homeopathic prescribing. In homeopathy, remedies can also interact either as antidotes or complements, deepening the healing process. Historically, pulsatilla has been mentioned as an antidote to some of the more intense changeable nervous states of Argentum Metallicum, helping to soothe when the nervous tension is too strong or the emotional fluctuations are overwhelming. And for complementary remedies, those that can follow well or support its action, we often see alumina, platina, sepia and calcarea carbonica mentioned in classic texts. This intelligent layering of remedies, when expertly applied by a qualified practitioner, can truly deepen and sustain the healing process, addressing multiple layers of disease. So to bring it all together, Argentum Metallicum stands as a profound healer for lingering emotional and mental exhaustion that hollows the spirit, offering a quiet, restorative embrace after periods of intense strain. It can help with nervous burnout and mental dullness from prolonged intellectual overwork, restoring clarity, focus, and that spark of creativity. Weakness or loss of voice and lung issues that are intimately tied to emotional strain or overuse, particularly for those whose livelihood depends on their vocal cords, can also find relief. This remedy doesn't just treat symptoms, it helps individuals reclaim their natural gleam and resilience, particularly for the brilliant but weary, the overexerted but still striving. It's a remarkable tool in homeopathy when prescribed correctly and individually. Now, a critical reminder, this guide is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Homeopathic remedies, especially complex ones like Argentum Metallicum, should always be selected and administered under the precise guidance of a qualified and experienced homeopathic practitioner. Self-prescribing can be ineffective or in some cases even harmful. Always consult with a licensed healthcare professional for the proper diagnosis and treatment of any health condition. Individual responses vary, and personalized professional advice is essential for safe and effective care. Please remember, the efficacy of homeopathy is based on traditional practice and scientific exploration, though it may not always align with the established evidence base of conventional medicine.